right now touring the United States and talking to as much media as he can for one purpose and one purpose only, which is to try to attract the small business person to import products into China. And so far it's working pretty well. I mean, I think from the feedback that I've read about coming from the Economic Summit in New York. I think there's considerable enthusiasm, not to say it's without some trepidation, but there's considerable enthusiasm for American businesses to try to expand their horizons into what is obviously the biggest country in the world with the most explosive growth going on. So it seems to be catching on pretty well.
Yeah, well, let's use the cherry example, Alan, that you referred to. So these are Chilean typo cherries.
Really?
Yeah.
They look like they're from Eastern Washington, but I can't really tell.
So lovely cherries. I think they're from California because our colleague only buys the premium brands. But you use cherries as an example as to the sales volume that continues to grow on Alibaba, and how Alibaba has really been this platform for a lot of U.S. international businesses to sell their goods. Right. Same thing also with Canadian salmon that they're now selling on Alibaba as well. So, when he throws out an example like $1 trillion, he wants gross merchandise value, GMV, to be $1 trillion. Doesn't seem that far-fetched.
It doesn't seem like it. I mean, look at the cherry numbers, right? The Pacific Northwest. So, in 2012, there was barely any imports going into China from the Pacific Northwest of cherries. And then they started advertising and promoting their products onto the Baba platform, the Taobao Mall specifically. And in 2012, the numbers went up to about 120 tons, and then in 2013, it was about 120 tons. In 2014, it grew to 600 tons. So just look at that one example. I mean, I probably would have been a pessimist thinking how many cherries can you import into China with that type of explosive growth, but the numbers speak for themselves. So with that and other products in mind, I really think that this market's going to be this is a great market for the American businessmen to start looking into. And for Alibaba, there's not much of a downside. If it doesn't work, they still have such explosive growth going on in China. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm still a big believer in the stock for the long term.
But Alan, the fact that Jack Ma is going on this great American tour, his great adventure in America, telling SMEs in America, the U.S., that they should go to China, doesn't this starkly tell us that there is a standoff in terms of the principle of free trade and market access? I ordered pet products from Amazon Prime 3 days ago, and it got shipped here onto my doorstep from Laredo, Texas, and it was genuine. Alibaba can't even guarantee their stuff is genuine. They do have intellectual property issues. The fact that Americans should even listen to Jack Ma, should even do business with him, that says something about the way China does business, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And look, I literally just about a week ago, I ordered a little purse for my daughter, and I ordered it on Amazon of all places. And I looked and I saw it's coming from China. It's going to take about 3 to 4 weeks to get here, and it was met with a lot of disappointment from my daughter. But that's bringing products in. Now, as far as shipping products over to China, if I was a small businessman selling products, I think I would put my toe in the water. It doesn't cost much to put my products up on the Alibaba website, the Taobao Mall. So as a small businessman, if I'm shipping products somewhere, why not just open up a gateway into China and just put my toe in the water? And I completely agree with you. There are some strained relationships and some distrust between the countries. But that being said, there's a lot of commerce flowing in and out of eBay, as an example, going in and out of China, Amazon as well. So again, if I'm the small businessman, I would certainly open up my doors and just give it a try and put my toe in the water and see where it progresses, because I'm not going to sit here and say that every businessman should put their products onto the Taobao website and trust it. But again, putting the toe in the water, I don't see what the downside is, just to see if there's actually increased commerce for my products.
Okay, Alan, so you are a strong believer in going long on Alibaba. The interesting point about the David Faber exclusive of Jack Ma is that he asked him outright. He said, what about the Yahoo Alibaba stock that's up for sale that they're going to spin off would you be interested in buying it? He said no. I was a little surprised, given that, for a long time before their IPO, he was saying, give me back my shares, I'll buy it back from you. Now he's not interested.
Yeah, I didn't. I heard the comment. I didn't really read into that in terms of what's behind that. But my intuition would say that his belief is that Alibaba no longer needs the Yahoo spinoff, because the last couple of quarters have been showing some very positive signs of growth across the board, to the bottom line, to the top line. The profit margins are increasing. So again, I can't really get into his mind and say exactly why he doesn't want to buy back those shares or take back that part of the company. It seems to me that it's just that he's believing that Alibaba is going to stand on its own feet, regardless of what happens with the Yahoo spinoff and whether or not he gets it or not.